Welcome back to the Green APU podcast. Two very special guests today. Never actually seen you guys here together. Welcome. We got Steve from FSC Trucking. We got Tim, Gentry and Sons. How you guys doing?
We are doing amazing. I just got done racing the rally car, so a little beat up, you know.
Steve, how you doing?
Doing better than I deserve.
Good. Well, what brings you guys here?
Well, we're building some heavy haul trucks, and we've got to reposition our APUs, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that.
Very nice. Now, you guys had the APU for 2-3 years now, right?
Yeah, I'd say I've had.
I'm going on year 3 with the first one, year 1 in the second unit.
Awesome.
I'm going on probably 2.5 years with the first, and then the second one I've had it a few months.
Yeah, right before Matt's.
Yep.
Yep.
Actually, the day before Matt's, and then I've got a couple other trucks with them on it. That's kind of older units. They've been really good machines.
Steve, what about you? How's the unit working for you?
Well, the first one, it's off the truck right now only because we're changing out the frame rails to it. But that thing literally needed nothing but services during the 3 years I've ran it. Black Dog just got it. It's practically brand new. I think we put it on there in maybe about 3 months ago ish, give or take. So in the 3 months, again, that unit's needed literally nothing. That's on a 379.99 Pete, which is what we call Black Dog. Orwell's my 1984 Peterbilt, which was the first one you guys ever put on a cab over. It's more of a custom install. Took a little while.
Oh, yeah.
But it works like an absolute beast, and there's all kinds of videos of me torture testing that thing down to 5 below zero and, up to probably, 90, 95, 100 degrees outside, actual temperature. So it's an absolute beast. It does its job well.
Oh, yeah. And you guys are all over the country. How's the unit in the hot weather?
Oh, it is amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, we just went to Arizona. And this is the way how I've been explaining it to people. I was so hesitant about spending that kind of money on APU. And then just because I'm like, man, it's just crazy. It's just an extra expense. You don't need it. There's no reason to buy one. And I will 1,000% say that I was wrong. That is the best money a man can spend on a truck. It helps your motor. It helps save on wear and tear. You're idling all night, soot all through your engine, the carbon buildup. On top of the electricity, the cooling and heating, and there's just so many benefits you get from it. Like if you drive a truck and you're out in the truck for more than, just a daily driver, like if you're out on the road at any extended period of time, it is well worth having.
Awesome.
100%.
So with me, Orwell, it's a 1984 Peterbilt, and it's got the original 3406B Caterpillar. That's a mechanical engine. When it starts getting real cold, that engine is absolutely a pain in the neck to start. You will just crank and crank and crank on it. And prior to having the Green APU, I've had many instances where I've had to cold start that thing at 20, 15 degrees outside, before wind chill. And it's like, is this thing going to start before either the starter melts, the wires melt, or the batteries just give out? But like I said, I've had that thing down to 5 below already where the APU is just running it. And that engine, that Caterpillar, will just fire right up with literally no issue. Now, on that engine, the APU isn't keeping the fuel warm, but it's circulating that hot water through the block, and that keeps the engine warm, in addition to keeping me warm. So when it's 5 degrees outside, you turn the key, a couple of cranks in, she fires up, white smoke clears out real straight away once the cylinder temperature catches up with the rest of the block, and away you go. All you gotta do is wait for the truck to air up, and down the road you go, no problems. Plus, you were warm all night too. So not only the engine warm, you're warm. Summertime, flip the exact opposite. It uses the engine and the radiator to keep it cool, while it keeps you cool because it's running a automotive stand-in style lay-down compressor in there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's building up heat, and it's got to get rid of it. And it flows that through your engine and your radiator as well. So that's the trick. Your engine stays up to reasonable operating temperature, and you're comfortable, and you're not killing your engine to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Steve's just glad to have air conditioner.
That's true, because I don't have factory air anymore.
He used to drive that cab over around with no air all the time. I'm like, dude, how the heck do you do it? Like, I mean, I'm a pretty tough guy, and I can deal with no air conditioner when I'm working and all that stuff. But when I get in the truck and I want to truck and drive 1,000 miles, I gotta have air conditioner.
You just use a fan if you have to, but it was difficult. But
I mean,
you do what you got to do.
No way.
Commitment, man.
You do what you got to do. But
great.
if it gets too bad, you just got to get a hotel. But then you got to find a place to park, and it costs money.
He's just driving down the road in that old cab over, smiling and going on. I'm like, I don't even know how this guy's even doing that right
He's
now.
sweating, shirt off, everything.
Hey, if you look at me, I could use to sweat a little weight off.
So, why don't you guys share your experience so far? Coming to the actual facility. I know, Tim, you were on the racing simulator for what felt like an hour. How was everything with the facility? I know you mentioned that we're not just an APU company.
Oh man! So at this point we've become friends and family, and when we come up, it's just like we all hang out, we cook, we eat, we dang. I'm trying to work myself into the actual rally car. So I'm working on art on that deal right now, and I think I finally got him talked into it. So I don't want to go destroy it.
Shoot, I'd be happy to just go see this stuff.
Oh,
Like in action at the track.
I really like the racing part of the crew. I'm serious. Like it's like all family now. We all know the same people. We hang with the same people. Like it was just honestly coming up here I have a blast every time I'm here. We're always doing something fun, and it's every time I've been here too. It's not just me doing it. Like I'm a YouTuber and stuff, and own a trucking company, so people think you get special treatment. Well, not at Green APU. Like today we come up, we go out to the building to eat some sausage and try out the new lemonade, Green APU lemonade that's got a little spike to it.
Oh yeah.
And there's two guys out there, just two normal guys hanging out, getting the whole experience as well. So drivers, the whole 9 yards. My drivers come up here to get a Green APU put on one of the trucks, and they get treated like, just like I do. So that has been a huge part of it. The racing program, the truck program, all the awesome machines. And Art's just like, have fun, Tim. Here you go. It's yours too. So it's definitely an amazing experience, and I enjoy the crap out of it.
This place has definitely changed a lot since the first time I came in here. Now, granted, it was great when I showed up the very first time 3 years ago, but now when we did the second unit, there's been a lot of changes and upgrades in equipment, upgrades in just the manufacturing facility, just the way things are done around here. So it's you walk in the front door, it feels like you're walking into Star Wars or something with the lighting and the doors and all that, and immediately you're immediately greeted with friendly faces, good smiles, all that whatnot. But the genuine commitment to the customer, and then if they showed me around the manufacturing facility as far as like how the components are made, because there's a lot of stuff that's made and built right here out of just raw material. I focus on that in my videos the first time as far as what they do and how they do it. And the second one, I focused on the quality control. One of the big things that is obviously a big issue in the industry is the uptime or lack thereof with your competitor APUs. There's constant problems with these things breaking down, and where do you get them fixed? Where you guys got a pretty extensive dealer network, but you're willing to show anybody who walks in the door how these things are made, where you get the parts, what they do, how they function, all of that, where they're assembled. Every bit and piece of these APUs are set up, and to be able to be shown to the customer walking in the door, and it's all in one small packaged up area, and then across the way is the shop. My first truck took 2 days to put in, but it was a total custom install. That's Orwell, the 84 cab over. Black Dog, a traditional looking, 1999 379 Peterbilt. That was in the morning, out in the afternoon. Real easy install right there, and it did not take a lot of time. Obviously, I've been back to do services and whatnot, schedule them in, get out. Shoot, I don't think it takes an hour.
Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of the approach we take. There's not a lot of companies that are doing what we're doing, as in making American parts, bringing jobs back from China and overseas, bringing manufacturing back to the States. And we want to make the customer feel like home, feel like family. That's why we always give them a tour. Sometimes we feed them lunch, give them some lemon juice, stuff like that. So let's talk about the match show.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun. So I know Steve had the chance to stop by our booth. with this swarm of fans. And I know, Tim, you did a live stream. Whose idea was that? I mean, that's crazy to do that at a show.
Oh, it was just, I don't know. I wanted to do something different. You know, I like to be different. I like to be the outcast and the guy that everybody talks about, like, who is this loser? And I thought, you know, nobody's ever put a turbo on at the Mid-America Truck Show inside.
Yep.
In a booth. And then we got to do it, and I was like, man, you know, why not just share it to everybody? Let's just share it to the world. So it was huge. Everybody watched it. We had like a crazy amount of people on that thing. And I also wanted people to be able to see the show that didn't get to come and, you know, that didn't pay for it and couldn't pay for it or couldn't get a trip down or couldn't get off work. So I done a live stream, and it worked out real well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got some phone calls after the show.
Yeah, I heard all about that.
I can imagine.
I am not allowed to rebuild my motor next year. I was planning on rebuilding my motor at the next show, but I am not allowed to do that.
And then was the shenanigans outside after the fact with all the trucks after the show. See, people that don't know, the exposition center where they do all of this, there's like a inner loop all around the building, and drivers will take their show trucks and they'll just do laps. Sometimes they'll slow roll, sometimes they'll not slow roll, and
we definitely was not out there drag racing.
Yeah, and it's quite the sight to see these trucks going down the road. And you got Timmy running around showing off his new turbo, old two-stroker running around in that 1970 needle nose with that very hurt 6V71 Detroit that you hear it long before you see it.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and still wait, and then finally it comes.
And then you had a bunch of other trucks. I got some awesome rolling shots of that yellow Dodge Bighorn that was circling around. I got that right out of your truck, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. It was an amazing thing to do. And then and then trouble started.
Oh yeah.
That's totally my fault.
Yeah. Steve,
I might have walked into something that I didn't know I was walking into back in the winter.
Steve, dang, the whole time. So we're wanting to build, you know, bigger. We want every time we run, we want to go bigger and badder and haul bigger stuff and get more money, and that's my thing. Like, we started out hauling small and just working our way up, and now we're at the point to where we're pulling stuff that shouldn't even be pulled on the road. And Steve the whole time's like, hey, you know, you got to get these frame rails, these half-inch frame rails.
Well, a little bit inside baseball. We've been talking about this stuff long before this opportunity got put in front of me. We've been talking about this for years.
Yeah,
we just never really knew which, at least me, I never really knew which direction to go or how to do it. And I still to this day, I have this idea of this crazy project truck that I want to build. I already know what its name is going to be. It's going to be called Rough Buddy. It'll be named after a B-24 bomber that my children's great grandfather passed away and was a tail gunner in it. But it'd be a badass build, a truck that I don't think anybody's ever done yet. That's why I keep that close to the vest. We don't talk about what that truck's going to be. But how do we build it? What kind of engine we want to use? What kind of frame we want to use, and all of that. And that we've been talking about this for a while. And then when I got my 83 Ford CL9000 cab over, we had to re-rail that thing.
Yeah.
And there's another company that I'm not gonna name that kind of did me a little. They played their game with they still do the work from home thing, even though we were all gonna, the world was gonna end 4 years ago and didn't. So they're still doing a work from home thing. I don't know how you make rails from home, but that's what they try to do. So I went with a different company, Vicon, out of Mentor, Ohio, and I says, hey, you guys can make me a custom frame rail. They're like, yeah. We'll give us a template. We'll cut it, drill it, everything, actually punch it, and get it all done for you. And that was last winter. No one really knew this was coming. So I just did a video, and I was going to go out there and I dropped off my frame rails. When I got done, I drove out there again, picked them up. And in the middle of it, I was talking to Joe at Vicon about half-inch frame rails for a potential heavy haul build. And he's like, well, I happen to have a set of frame rails laying right here on the ground. That's what they look like. And we're looking at it, and he looks at them. He looks at the name on the side of the rails. He's like, hey, these are Crystal's rails. You can haul them for maybe get a couple bucks around just going home with just your own. I'm like, who? Never heard of this. So put me in contact with this trucking company owned by Crystal Miller. And she does heavy haul. And I was like, I called her up and says, hey, Joe's wanting me to maybe move these rails for you. And we were trying to hem and haw about the price. And I caught her at a bad time. I was trying to hurry up and get this done, so I wasn't in any kind of mood. And very grateful that I didn't tell her to go pack sand when she was like, well, I could do that for less. And I'm like, well, then do it. I didn't say that, but I damn near did.
She's a tightwad. Like this, she is just a tightwad.
Well, she's a hell of a businesswoman. That's for sure. So I caved. I'm like, fine, I'll haul them in. And she said, I'll just give you cash. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm not going to say how much, but it was straight up cash, And drove from Mentor, Ohio up to her shop in Wisconsin and unloaded them. And it's 5 degrees outside and they're tarped only because mine needed to be tarped. So I was like, okay, unloaded them. And it was 2 other drivers that she has along with me hanging on the back of her forklift truck so it wouldn't flip over, trying to unload these half-inch rails at the same time, all of them.
On a little old Clark.
Yep, a little bitty machine. So anyway, I after we got done, got to tarp back up, I was getting ready to leave. She's like, hey, you want to come in the shop, have a couple of sliced pizza and warm up? I'm like, yeah, actually, it's like 5 degrees outside. 4.5 hours later, just, how drivers are, 4.5 hours later, shooting the crap, I get in my truck and go home. And that was that for a little while. Then we started looking at doing some framework or changing the frame rails on my cab over. And we were debating on whether I lengthen the truck or not, or I leave it the same. And I started asking questions, and I started needing some advice based on questions. Well, who do I know that does these trucks, that builds them from the ground up? Crystal Miller. So, of course, I had her number. I texted her a bunch of stuff. And in the middle of this, about what I should do, she says, you should build Orwell longer with 1/2-inch frame rails and put a pusher axle and come pull loads for me. And I'm like, what? You just offered me something colossal. And then we had to discuss the details of this. So naturally, what do you think I do? I go tell my friends. So then Tim comes up with some crazy idea based on this massive boat in Arizona.
Well, no, you didn't skip the Mats thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I totally skipped that.
You done went off in the left field.
Yep, sorry.
No, so...
You're totally right. So before I decided I was going to stretch out or extend Orwell and put a pusher axle on it, I didn't know Crystal was at the show. I had videoed at the, AGI to make the custom sleepers.
Yeah.
I had done a video with Jan looking at the sleepers, and I walked right by Crystal's trucks and didn't even realize it.
I videoed them too, didn't even realize, I didn't know her then. Steve's been trying, he's like, hey man, I need you to meet this person. I'm like, Steve, I'm busy, because the booth was just swamped and all that. And I'm like, you tell her to come over here. And then she'd tell him,
I'm trying to show him her trucks with these 1/2-inch frame rails.
Yeah. And then she's like, no, you tell him to come over here. And it was just back and forth. So we didn't even, at the end of the show, me and Steve go out and start drag racing. And then we're getting ready to leave. And
I had to talk her into coming over where we were. Because we were filming with other YouTubers outside, so we really couldn't leave.
Yeah,
so I was like, hey, we're filming out here. We need you to come here. And I don't realize the equipment that she's towing with this truck. I thought maybe she was bobtail. By the way, I didn't even realize she had trucks in the show. I thought maybe she was just going over there just go see the show like everybody else does. I didn't know she had trucks in the show until I got outside. I texted her. She's like, yeah, I'm at the show. And I'm like, I look at Jen and I'm like, we just walked by her trucks. And I should have recognized them and didn't. I felt real bad.
And they're badass trucks. That's the problem with it. There's so many bad to the bone trucks at that show. They're just, at this point, you just walk by them. And,
yeah, you don't even recognize half of them. It's crazy.
But
she rolled up.
Yeah, he's like, hey, because I'm getting ready to roll out. And he's like, hey, she's coming over here to meet you and, so you can see these frame rails. I'm like, all right, well, that's fine. So I walk over there and I'm thinking some big, beastly, strong woman,
large Marge,
coming down pulling up. Shit, here comes a 4-axle, bad to the bone,
beautiful, stretched out 4-axle Peterbilt, custom sleeper, shine to the 10s. Absolutely just amazing truck, steerable Feynmanville trailer.
And these are trailers you see in Europe. Like, you don't see these in the States. And I'm like, my jaw just hits the ground. I see that trailer and I'm like, what is this?
And I caught her all on video. She comes rolling up, big ear-to-ear grin, seat real low like you should, you know, just showing up with not just one but 3 semi-trucks. Wow. Parks right next to, you know, right behind Rooster, and jumps out of the truck and immediately shows Tim the truck, and Tim is just standing there, and where everybody's seeing this, and they're just like jaws on the ground, eyes bugged out of their heads, and I'm just like, I told you.
Man, I'm sorry. This equipment is just top notch. It really is. It is top notch equipment, and it's something you go out and make some serious. But you pay serious money for it, and just to have the balls to own this equipment is insane. And there you go. Like,
so I titled my video. We got showed up. We both got showed up at Matt's, and the thumbnail says "beat by a girl" because she just rolled up and made us look like a bunch of like kids.
I mean, like, it's something more on to do for, like, we've been talking about this for 2 years. Like, I'm like, Steve, I'm about to pull the trigger and do this. Well, long story short, now that we've been showed up, I went into overdrive and I said, you know what, it's time. Let's go. Let's get it done. And now we're all working together. I mean, we become one big. You know, it's a big team.
So then came the boat haul, and I don't have a 4-axle. You don't have a 4-axle yet. So we're like, we know somebody. He texted me this idea, and I thought when I talked to her about it, I thought she was going to be like, you're out of your ever loving mind. Her attitude was, hold my beer.
Yep.
And next thing you know, boom, the details were figured out. In less than a week, we loaded up 3 dualies on 2 trailers, and shot from Wisconsin all the way down to Arizona.
Yep.
And that's the video series we're working on as of right now.
I did run my Green APU the whole time. I will not lie.
Wow.
That Green APU has been awesome to me. I love that thing, and I'm getting ready to put new frame rails. So we're doing the same thing to my truck. We're putting all new 1/2-inch frame rails in it, and, you know, like, I'm looking at buying some 4-axle trucks, but Rooster's my flagship truck. It's the truck I drive, I want to be in, I'm comfortable in, and I'm willing to spend $50,000 because I got to have my Green APU. Mm-hmm. Like, that is just, I will not go without that APU, so I am putting new frame rails in.
No, he's got enough length to put the pusher axle in there right now, but then the APU's got to disappear. So, no, we're just going to put all new rails, make it bigger, longer, stronger, and keep the APU.
Everybody's like, man, you're crazy. Why? Just take the APU off. I'm like, no, I ain't living without it. I mean, now that I've had it, it's too convenient. And I don't have to idle my motor. I don't have to do any of that stuff. And, you know, I got a big fancy engine. That thing cost me about $50,000-$60,000 to build. And I don't like idling it. I want to take as much good care as I can. And that APU helps with that. And always keeps the coolant same temperature. You know, I really feel like it's a game changer. Yep. I do.
Yep.
Now, Orwell's my flagship as well, so we're basically the same thing, just adding enough length to, on mine, the APU actually goes underneath the cab, so the APU clearance isn't an issue like with yours, but either way, same thing. I'm just going long enough to have a small little set of steps to get up on the catwalk, push your axle, 2 drives. We're just making it as long as it needs to be. We're not stretching it. It's going to be as short as we can make it and still be functional as a 4-axle tractor.
Yeah.
But that's the flagship on my channel.
So my idling time has went, I've dropped so much. I just don't ever idle anymore, like, period whatsoever. I bet I went from idling, 30, 40, 50 hours a trip to 0. So you can imagine the savings and the...
Yeah, I think you posted something about the miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Recently.
Oh, yeah. So I went from 5.5 miles per gallon. My truck consistently is 5.5 to 5.7 with the power that it has, and I just posted 6.15 just the other day, and the only thing I've changed is my APU.
Well, Caterpillars burn about a gallon and a half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So you figure $3-4 a gallon. Every hour, you're idling, so figure you're out 10 hours.
$30.
Yeah, overnight. I mean, it starts to rival hotel rooms.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's only fuel. We're not talking wear and tear. Think on it. Camshaft is only going to ride with lifters pushing on it. Rollers or not. They're only going to spend X amount of times, whatever that number is. There's an infinite number for them cams start to flake up. Crankshaft bearing, same thing. them rod bearings are only going to spin X amount of times before they come apart. End. It doesn't matter. Now, what that number is irrelevant. It is a definite number, each one.
Yeah.
The more you spin it, the worse it gets.
Yeah, I want to bring it back to the you guys' channels. I know Steve mentioned it just 5 minutes ago, but the videos you guys do, is it just someone texts you something crazy and you're like, let's do it? Or is it just kind of day in the life?
So the way I started mine was I was actually coming back. I used to, when I first started, I'd go buy some old cab overs and run them across country and show people that you can buy an $8,000 truck, go pay it off in 2 weeks, and start making profit. You got to be mechanically inclined, of course, to work on your truck and keep up the maintenance and stuff on it. But you can take these old trucks that are built like rocket ships and or old tanks or something, and they last forever. They're good trucks. You just got to give them a little bit of love. And I was coming back from a trip out Washington, and Cletus McFarland called me one day. He's a big time automotive YouTuber. Mm-hmm. And he asked me if I'd go pick up. He had just bought this $500,000 dang race car hauler trailer, and he's like, "Man, I feel like you're the guy to go get it." So I went and got it and delivered it to him. He paid me to do it. That's one thing about working with Garrett. He does not ask anybody to do anything for free or ask for discounts. And he helps everybody out, on social media. And I love working with the guy. So after that, I went and picked up his trailer and delivered it. And after that, I was like, holy crap, like this is a great idea. I picked up like 1,500 subscribers from that deal. And, and since then, I've developed so many huge relationships on YouTube with these big time YouTubers and famous people. So when somebody needs something hauled, they call me. Garrett, he recommends a lot of people to me, and I pull stuff for him. I don't do a lot on YouTube anymore. I'm so busy. A lot of times it's my drivers now hauling the stuff, and when I get a chance, I'll go film it. But that's how I built my channel, is doing stuff like that. And I've kind of moved off to just I film whatever I'm working on. That's what I film. If I got a big project going on, I'll film it, put it up, and for your normal person or normal trucker, what I do is pretty out there. I remember
the last big one you did. That was the Elvis jet. That's the one that's the last big one you personally did.
And I had a driver on it. Like, I wasn't even going to film it. Thank God that, something happened with loading it. It was so windy we couldn't get it loaded out there. I had a driver on it, actually. Wasn't even going to film it. I was just so busy I couldn't get to it. And if that wouldn't have happened, I'd have never even filmed it.
Called a jet plane on a boat trailer.
The Elvis Presley's jet.
No, I forget. Wow. That's right. That's the one that was sold. It was in where, New Mexico?
Yeah, it was out in New Mexico. We went out there and picked it up. We took it to Graceland, got kicked out of Graceland, and that was a pretty big deal.
True story.
We've hauled for some pretty famous people, and at this point, it's just become a business. It's not something I share on YouTube all the time. But they pay me. It's never been a situation. Most of the YouTubers I work with, I will say, have been really good to work with. They pay me. I have no issues. They understand I got to make money, but it also gives me content every once in a while. There's been a few instances where people wanted me to work for them and do stuff and do it for views or whatever, but most of these guys are good businessmen and women, and they're easy to work with, and that's how I built my channel. I just have fun, but that's the direction I'm headed now. Is the hauls have just gotten so big and they pay so well. I can go out and make $100,000 in one haul in a few days. Oh my gosh! It's hard to justify spending 6 or 8 hours filming and editing a video. How do you choose? You do make good money on YouTube, but not that good of money. Like, if you put all your heart and dedication and everything into the YouTube channel, then you could get to those numbers. But So I'm kind of in between a rock and a hard place now. And then now that Steve's helping me quite a bit and he's making some big changes, it kind of helps. He likes to do the YouTube. He likes to edit and stuff. So it kind of helps me out. He comes and films a lot of stuff now, and it's really took a lot of pressure off me. I ain't posted a video in like 2 weeks.
No, it's been a while for you.
But getting ready to change that. I'm going to try to, I'm going to get back at it. I'm going to go ahead and start posting every day again or every other day. And
Well, you've been nonstop since we went to Arizona, too. And everyone thinks Arizona was easy. No, that was 12, 14-hour plus days every day just figuring everything out.
Taking boats apart. Like, that's the thing about these boats that we pull. And I'm actually...
They're monsters. Even taking apart, they're 18, 19 feet in the air.
I just priced a 80-ton rotator tow truck just yesterday, actually. I found one that's available right now. I priced it out. I mean, it's $1 million truck. But this thing would save me so much time and money and aggravation. The one thing about these big boats is you have to take them apart. The reason nobody pulls them or you never see them on the road is they're so tall and they're so, like we cut these things in half. We take the roofs off of them, tops off of them, windows out of them. Like, you've got a lot of prep work to move one of these things. So you got a whole crew, you got a crane, and...
This last one was 2 cranes.
Yeah, we just had 2 80-ton cranes. Guy shows up with 2 80-ton cranes with one operator, so I had to operate this guy's. Never been on this thing a day in my life. It's an old Globe. And I jump on this 80-ton crane and pick up this 100,000-pound boat and to load this on the trailer. So, but these things are crazy. They're huge. It's like hauling a big giant bathtub that's fragile as an egg.
Well, when you add it up, though, that's the thing with Arizona particularly, right? When we went out there, it was you with Rooster, your Waltron, Crystal, her truck, her Feynmanville, my dually, Crystal's dually, Dave Matoy's dually. Add that up, you're probably about $1.5 million in equipment.
Yeah, just me and Crystal's trailers.
Just to go. We haven't even talked about fuel costs or nothing yet.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get there.
Just the 2 trailers that we took is $1 million. Between my trailer and her trailer, that's $1 million. Then you got her truck and my truck. I'd say her truck's worth $300K. Mine's probably $150, $200. It'd take that to buy it if I would sell it.
And three Ram dualies.
Yeah, 3 new Dodges, and then probably I took a big risk doing this because I knew I had to pay these guys no matter what, and. So we took off, and they trusted me. Like, I said it before we left. I'm like, I hope this goes good. Because, I mean, when you get there to these big boats, these guys will tell you anything to get you there. Like, measurements, don't ever trust it. That's one thing about hauling boats. They'll tell, oh, yeah, it's only 12 wide, and you'll get there, and it'll be 16. It's only 12 foot tall, and you'll get there, and it'll be 16.
Well, the one me and your dad did, that's exactly what it was. It was said to be this high, and it turned out to be that high because they weren't measuring from the keel up. They're measuring from the water line up. Well, there's a lot of boat underneath the water, ain't there?
Yep.
And that became an issue.
So I'll tell them now. They'll call and ask me what trailer I'm bringing. I'll just tell them rail trailer just so they'll tell me the true height of it. Because I've had so many instances where I'd show up and have the wrong trailer we'd be 16, 18 foot tall because they lied to us. And I've done deadheaded halfway across the country to pick this thing up and spend all this fuel money. So just to get out to Arizona, I spent, I'd say 15, 20K just in expenses just to get there. I knew without a doubt I had to pay everybody to get there. We had freaking Airbnbs and we rented a houseboat for a week. There's a lot of expense in it. Crystal, she was just helping. Once we teamed up, it was just like having a team partner. It
was a raw team at first. It was like everybody, everybody has an expertise. Yep. Everybody could do everything, but like there's things that Crystal is good at that maybe Tim is not. There's things Tim's good at that maybe Crystal is not, and I kind of find my way in the middle. In the end, you get in where you fit in, right?
Yep.
And everybody was just like, look, this is what I'm good at. This is what I do. You go do that because that's what you're good at. And ultimately, we called it the trucking A team with this, and I did a little skit on a video about that because it truly was. Everybody found everybody found where their expertise was, and that's what we did. it just worked out perfectly that way. It turned out to be the best thing ever, but it was a raw team. We get out there, we're kind of figuring each other out, what each other does, and this, that, and the other. Now, right now, I feel we could do anything we could literally do anything with equipment that's owned, but it took a little bit to figure all that out. And it did take time. It was, I mean, in the end, we were out in that desert. The whole load was 2 weeks, start to finish.
So it's hard to work with me because I'm very particular about stuff, and like I kind of want things done a certain way. And you know, with these boats, I've just done it so many times, and it's like hauling an egg. Like literally, you put an egg on a trailer and hope to God you don't break it, because when you break it, it's totaled. And these boats are millions of dollars. Wow. So
water holds a vessel up evenly. Yep. A trailer does not.
So you're trying to mimic the water when you haul this thing, and the bumps in the road and all that. You come through Arizona, the roads are so wavy and stuff. I knew once that boat left there, it had to flex and move, and so I'm trying to set it and do all this. And the one part that I hate about hauling these boats is getting permits, getting the paperwork ready, calling the state troopers, calling the permit offices. And I didn't know this about her at all. 1,000% didn't know this, but I'm over here doing my thing. You know, she's like, you do your thing, I'll do mine. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Dude, it worked so flawlessly. It was absolute. I've never had a boat haul go as smooth as this one, ever. Even these small little boats that I haul, I've never went this smooth. When I got done loading this boat, and, you know, everybody helped. You know, Steve helped with filming. Steve helped with loading, taking apart. You know, when I was busy doing something, he got other people. She'd do the same thing, but she's out in the truck doing permits, and we're permitting 2 trucks 18 foot wide to go across the country. You know, we went to haul one boat. It was a nightmare. I was trying to work on this guy's budget. It just was not working out. Like, he was on a super tight budget, and I was trying to make that work for him. And at, you know, day 3, I was just like, look, this ain't working. You know, I've either got to get different equipment to move this to make this budget work, because we're dealing with a height issue. The boat was supposed to be a certain weight and a certain height, and we get out there and it is totally not either one of those. And he's not willing to get the Coast Guard to come in and have an engineer remove the struts. So we cannot load this boat below 18 foot tall, and that just changes the price from, you know, that adds 50, 60 grand to a haul. That 2 foot will add 60 grand to a haul. So I just told him, it's like, hey, we got to do something different. And then he's like, well, I got somebody wanting to buy the boat. Can you move it to Chicago? And we had spent 2-3 days pulling it apart.
Mm-hmm. Every bit of it.
I said, well, either I've got to modify my trailer, get a different trailer up here to get it lower, and it's going to cost more money, or you're going to have to pay the more money. So we just backed off that project, put it to the side till we figured out all those details, which we figured them out now. But I also had a friend that was coming out there to buy another boat. So I had 2 boats to move. So it kind of worked out perfect. We put that project to the side. We didn't, you know, I wasn't going to try to move it on that budget. It just wasn't possible. And picked up this other boat, cut it in half, loaded it on the trailer, and we hauled it across the country.
Trailers, both of them.
Yeah, 2 trailers. The Faymanville, and stretched it out, put the top on it. They both loaded out a little over 14 foot, 18 foot wide on both of them. She was about 19 wide, I was about 18, and then, and man, it just went perfect. Like, absolutely perfect.
That's when it all started. When I started taking the other boat apart, that's when you started seeing the progress and whatnot going on. Yeah. And that's when, you know, not
one person was willing to give up. You know, like, I've worked with a lot of people in my life, and I don't know, it's just a good team. There's no doubt about it. You guys see these videos come out, they're getting ready to drop too. Starting this weekend, we're going to start dropping pretty hardcore with them. Everybody's going to see the amazing workmanship, team, all that stuff.
The problem with filming was there was a lot of behind the scenes that, like, you know, work just dictated that. You know, think about it, like when Crystal's handling all permits for 2 trucks, you know, sitting in her pickup truck. There's a lot of that never made footage, but was there. That was her that was one of her expertise that she could do, and that part of it just solved it. Or Timmy could get the boat loaded properly and all of that, and I could get out of the help out with that. And I was trying to catch some footage where I can, but the point is, there's a lot of behind the scenes just makes crappy video had I filmed it. Like, oh, here's somebody doing permits on a computer. How exciting can that be?
Looking back though, I wish we'd have filmed all that. But you
at least to give the credit. That's why we're speaking on it now, because you give the credit on it. No one saw it.
But you're going to see, like, I was in and out of that crane 150 dang times.
Mm-hmm.
But Crystal was right there. I mean, she was right there throwing pads. Anything I asked her to do, she was right there. And she, instantly picked it up. And before long, I didn't have to say a word. She knew where to go, what to do. And
she never hauled a boat before.
No.
It was her first one.
Yeah. And Matoya was the same way. Steve was the same way. It's like they was reading my mind, honestly. I guess they got tired of seeing me climb in and out of that crane. I had to build this big step board thing the way I
had a crib box.
Yeah. Then I was climbing in that. By the end of the day, I was wore. I'd never been so tired in my life. I was just dragging. Then we get almost loaded and realize that we needed to modify some stands and this and that. So I had to go up to the welding shop, cut these things in half, and same thing. She was right there. She's using a saw, cutting these things up, and I'm welding them together. One's
welding, the other's cutting.
Yep.
Not going to slag off. You're using a arc welder.
And Steve and them guys were down there getting the boat set and everything organized where when we got back down, we just load it up and go. And it worked out really, really, really well. I'm super excited about it. And it all started coming to Green APU, getting an APU put on my truck, going to Matt's.
And then you saw the frame rails, and you met Crystal. She met you and already knew me. And later, between Matt's and now, obviously she offered me a spot. But the only thing was I had to, I'll break it on here. So I kind of did, but kind of. So the way it worked out was she was like, yeah, get your own authority. You can pull for me. You pull for Tim. You pull for Widmeyer's like you do now. But you got to get your own authority to do it. And Tim's been busting my chops for at least 3 years on it. And I've always been saying, I'm kind of safe here, kind of safe there. But now it's like, to be honest, when you make friends with people that are successful, more successful than you, and now there's more of them, you have to start taking advice of people that are clearly doing better than you. And that's where I'm at right now.
So I jumped off. What it takes to be very successful. He just has to have someone, like once he does it, he runs with it. Like once he gets his authority and pulls his first load, he'll be unstoppable, I guarantee it. But getting him to that point is, like he don't like to step outside of his comfort zone. He's had a lot of shit happen in his life, and
I stayed safe when I was raising my sons, but now my youngest is 21, and he's on his own. He's a United States Marine. He doesn't need dad for anything anymore. I mean, it's always good to have dad, but he doesn't need me. So it's time to start taking risk and building up, because I need to live the rest of my life for me and Jen, and get on with living. Yeah. And I'm looking at Tim. Obviously, Tim does better than me. Crystal does way better than me. And I'm like, and they're looking at me as their friend, being like, you need to get off your ass and get moving. Like, why are you still doing the same thing? You've been kind of like dying a slow death for the last 5 years. It's time to get up and get better. And I'm like, okay, time to.
You can only watch the same fire truck hauled so many times, but Steve, he starts posting new content, and I've told him a million times, like, dude, you start posting new stuff, your channel's gonna blow up. Have I not said that a million times?
Oh, you have.
And by God, it did. It is. His channel is rocking right now, and he started posting new stuff, and now he's just he's on it. He is absolutely on it. We're doing some crazy stuff, some crazy moves.
And it's fun.
It is.
And it's fun because it's a challenge. It's a challenge for me just to do the stuff we did. And we literally cut a boat in half to take it to Florida, man. I mean, holy crap. Who does this?
To go look at some dolphins.
Yeah, to go look at some dolphins.
And I don't know, man. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. Getting to meet, we got to meet you guys.
Yeah.
This has been an awesome relationship. And not only have we met you guys, y'all become part of us. Like, I hear from Greg or Art or any of the guys, pretty much weekly. And guys, I'll be installing. If you want a Green APU installed by Tim Gentry, it is a possibility now. I guess it's a good time to announce that.
Yep.
Hit me up, shoot me an email, Facebook post, whatever. I'll keep a few APUs at the shop to install if anybody wants to buy one. So a lot of big things happening, and I am excited. New experiences every day.
Oh, yeah.
Meet new people, new life choices and changes, and we're gonna go up. I don't want to go back. I want to go up, and it's crazy. It all started right here in this parking lot, like a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
2 months ago.
Right before Matt's.
Yep.
That's right.
Well, guys, this has been awesome.
I can't believe we got that into it. Like,
that was great.
you just got a lot of information.
Oh yeah. Well, it's good. We really haven't had a chance really at all talk about it. It's just been a. I mean, shoot. If you think about it, not to get into it again, but we got done with Florida. I flew home. You guys had to drive the equipment home. So I kind of got to jump on the videos on it because I flew home, but we haven't really got to talk about it since we got the boat delivered. It was like boat's delivered. I'm still sweating. I'm sitting in the airport getting ready to fly home. I'm like, dude, I didn't get a time to wash up. It was like that fast.
Yeah.
So this is the first time I've seen you since then.
Yep. So I went straight back. I went home, fixed an oil leak on my truck, cleaned my trailer off, and went and reloaded it again. That's why I'm here. I mean, I just delivered another big boat yesterday, and Rooster decided after 6,000 miles that he's going to throw another injector and had some brake issues. I don't know what the heck happened just today. Like, this truck's been working phenomenal pulling these big boats, and so we got some new injectors coming. Having them overnighted up here to Wisconsin. Going to be up here all weekend, looks like. We're going to probably stick an axle under the truck. There you go, guys. You're getting a lot of information today. So, and me and Steve might be doing something pretty crazy. I cannot release that. I don't think we can release that.
I think you can.
I wouldn't yet.
I think you can.
Let's see how it plays out. But I think we could do it.
Yeah.
In the time frame required, I think we could do it.
I feel like we have a humongous crate. Like, the next project coming down the pipe is internet breaking. It's huge. It's humongous. And I mean, like, literally humongous. Should not physically be allowed to be put on the road and pulled down the road. But we're going to do it.
I'm going to do it anyway.
But we got to spend a lot of money we make a lot of money, though. Like, these boats, they make you a lot of money, but it's a big risk. Big risk, big reward. And not many people is willing to go risk everything on the line to make that reward. So that's what's nice about the boats. It takes us an idiot. Like, honestly, it takes an idiot to do what we're doing.
Yeah, I know a guy.
I mean, absolutely. And I think these guys just go with me just to be like, I got to go watch this idiot try this. But they help me do it. I love it.
Dude, you know me, man. I'm ride or die for my friends and people. I have very few people in my close circle, and they got my back 100%, which is honestly why I'm taking the gambles that I've been. Maybe to you it's not a gamble. To me, it's like all in, brother. Like all in, 100% all in.
I stay pretty calm. You can't tell it. Like, but I'm all the time on rev limiter. Like, God, if I screw this up, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, but I trust you. I've trusted you for years. Crystal's proven her trust more ways than one during this whole boat haul situation and everything. So, like I said, so for me, it's like
if you to the bar. And she would be right there in the bar fight with us.
Oh, absolutely.
I have no
absolutely.
doubt about it.
I trust her with everything as well. That's absolute fact. So, you guys put that level of trust in me. I put that level of trust in you guys.
I'm all in. Up here to Green APU. Like, she's like, I ain't putting a Green APU on my truck. And I used to be the same way. I've said that a gazillion times. I ain't putting no damn APU on my truck. And here I am. So, we have got to get.
I was the same way originally. I had pile of crap APUs in the past. They fold up. Can't get parts for them. Can't never get them fixed, even when they are in business.
I've
had that before.
Electronics go crazy.
Yeah.
So.
And it's proprietary, so you got to go to them.
I can tell you guys right now, I ain't going to talk about why, but Green APU's warranty is the best in the business. I will tell you, they will go out of their way to make sure if you ever have an issue out of your APU, they will. I feel like Greg would fly to another country to make sure your APU is taken care of. I really feel like they would go that far.
He would run there at this point.
I would. I had a little issue with mine, and he went, like, he was willing to come to Arizona to make sure I had air conditioner. Like, I mean, I was like, dang, Greg, no, it ain't that serious. Like, I mean, we're good. I'll be down there in a few weeks.
Well, the point is there is tech support. There is something available. If you do have the rare unit that does give you a little trouble, they can get you up and running real quick. Even if you have to, like, you finagle a couple things on a unit to make it function temporarily while you get it back to a dealer, whichever. But that's a big portion of it right there too. But no, they will bend over backwards to make sure if you ever do have a problem, unlike every competitor that I've ever owned, if you have a problem, they will get it solved and it won't be a problem for long. That's the trick to it.
Holly is she's on the podcast table asleep.
Yeah, she is between the two microphones, literally sound asleep.
Wow.
Sorry about that. This dog is, man, everybody loves her. Everywhere I go, like, I just ordered some injectors this morning for Rooster, and the first thing they ask is, how's Holly? Where's Holly? And if you come back down here, you better bring Holly. So it's crazy. I've never seen Art touch a dog until her today. She was even on the sim with me.
That's very true. That was funny because you got a picture of the simulator. It's a seat and a steering wheel and a set of screens around it. But to a dog, it looks like a truck. So she's over there running around crying. She's like, don't leave me, don't leave me. Well, the simulator don't move. The dog don't know that. All she knows is when daddy's in a truck and a steering wheel and a seat, it's getting ready to leave. So she was crying. So he sat up on her lap. Simulator, you think it's going to throw right off of it. No, that's lap sound sleep.
Yep. It was crazy. That thing will throw you around like.
Meanwhile, his head's bobbing around like a bobblehead on top of that thing.
And she's just like.
It's like to see.
But man, thanks for having us today.
Yeah.
This has been super awesome. All the hospitality and it's cool knowing you guys got our backs anytime we need it, and our friends and our customers. Like, when somebody off the channel wants an APU, Greg goes out of his way to make sure they're took care of and treated right and get up here, get APU. And so we're going to make it a little easier, guys. I'm going to have APUs in Sweetwater. Just going to have a few here and there. I mean, I'm not going to become a dealer or anything like that, or what do you call that? Distributor.
Yep.
But I am going to keep some to sell and have at the shop for those that want it specifically from us. Went through the whole course on the way they want them installed, and because they do a really good job installing them here, really, really good job. So hit me up, Tim Gentry, or Tim at GentryandSons.com on email or Facebook, and I will be announcing some pretty huge news here in the next couple weeks, and I think everybody's gonna be excited. I know I am.
Oh yeah.
Well, again, guys, this has been awesome. Thanks so much. And big things coming, it sounds like. So
It's for 2 truck drivers, 3 truck drivers. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we ain't done yet.
Anytime, give us a call. greenapu.com. Thanks, guys, again.
Excellent.